It is a book of 240 pages. It contains drawings of plants no botanist has ever recognized. Diagrams of stars in arrangements that match no constellation. Naked figures bathing in green pools connected by tubes. And 35,000 words written in a script used by no other document on Earth. It was written sometime between 1404 and 1438. It has been studied by codebreakers, linguists, botanists, and artificial intelligence. Every reading has failed. Entity designation, artifact, GRF003. Sector, global. Status, unresolved. Origin protocol, recurrence files. It is held at Yale University. Beinecke Rare Book and Manuscript Library. Catalogue number MS408. In 2009, a team led by Greg Hodgins at the University of Arizona carbon-dated 4 samples of the parchment. The result was narrow. 1404 to 1438, with 95% confidence. The parchment was made in the early 15th century. The book is divided into sections by subject. Botany, over 100 plants, none matching any known species. Astronomy, wheels of stars and labels in the unreadable script. Biology, small naked figures in tubs of green liquid, joined by pipes. Pharmacology, jars and roots. A recipe section at the end. The script itself uses about 25 distinct symbols. The words follow word spacing. They form paragraphs. They appear next to specific drawings, suggesting the text describes the images. It is a book that was made to be read. It has not been. 1665. Prague. A Bohemian physician named Johannes Marci writes a letter to Athanasius Kircher in Rome. Kircher is the most famous decipherer in Europe. He has published claims to have decoded Egyptian hieroglyphs, claims later proved wrong, but at the time, definitive. If anyone in the 17th century can read this book, it is Kircher. Marci sends him the manuscript on behalf of a Prague alchemist named George Beresh, who has spent years trying and failing. The letter notes that the book was once owned by Rudolph II, Holy Roman Emperor, who paid 600 ducats for it. 600 ducats was the price of a small estate. Kircher receives the book. He works on it for the rest of his life. He produces no decipherment. His correspondence on the matter ends in silence. The book stays in Jesuit collections for 250 years, unread. The first man tasked with decoding it was the man who claimed to have decoded Egypt. He could not. 1944. The United States Army assigns its top cryptographer to a secret weekend project. His name is William Friedman. Friedman has just helped break the Japanese diplomatic cipher Purple, an achievement central to the American war effort in the Pacific. He works on the Voynich manuscript on and off for the next 25 years, until his death in 1969. He concludes only this. The text is not a substitution cipher. It is not a transposition cipher. It is not any conventional code system that the 20th century knew how to break. He proposes it might be an early constructed language, an artificial language predating the modern field by 3 centuries. He never publishes a translation. After Friedman comes a sequence. Robert Brumbaugh in 1978, a Latin herbal hypothesis, rejected. Stephen Bax in 2014, a partial reading of star names, not accepted. Gerard Cheshire in 2019, a proto-Romance language hypothesis published under University of Bristol. The press release was withdrawn within 48 hours. Artificial intelligence has been applied since 2017. No decipherment has been confirmed by independent specialists. The book remains unread. Place the failures next to each other. 4 centuries. 6 named specialists. 0 confirmed readings. Kircher in the 17th. Newbold in the 20th, refuted by John Manley in 1931. Friedman across 2.5 decades. Brumbaugh, Bax, Cheshire, each refuted within months of publication. But statistical analysis tells a different story. Prescott Currier, in 1976, identified that the book contains at least 2 distinct hands, 2 scribes. The 2 sections show measurably different word distributions. Subsequent analysis confirmed that the text obeys Zipf's law, the statistical pattern that defines all natural human languages. The word lengths are distributed unlike Latin or English, but distantly resembling certain Polynesian and Central Asian languages. The text behaves like meaningful language. It just does not match any meaningful language. That is the pattern. Not absence of structure, presence of unread structure. There are explanations. The strongest ones are offered honestly. In 2004, Gordon Rugg of Yale University published a detailed simulation. Using a 16th-century device called a cardan grill, a card with cutout windows moved across a table of syllables, he showed how a forger could generate text that passes Zipf's law without meaning anything. If the voynich is a hoax, this is how it could have been done. Rugg did not prove it was a hoax. He showed it was technically possible. The competing explanation, proposed across multiple analyses, is that the script encodes a real language, but one that has either gone extinct without other written record, or one constructed for ritual or scholarly use. Both explanations cover most of the data. Neither explains why a hoaxer would invest the labor required to produce 240 pages of consistent grammar, 2 distinct hands, internal sectional logic, and image-text correspondence, and why a man like Rudolph II would pay 600 ducats for it. Consider what the explanations share. Hoax theory and language theory both accept the same physical fact. The book exists. It was made between 1404 and 1438 by at least 2 scribes who agreed on a system. They wrote consistent text in a consistent script next to consistent drawings. They produced enough material to fill 240 pages. They went to enough trouble that Rudolph II paid the price of an estate to own it. They went to enough trouble that Kircher, Friedman, and several generations of academic specialists could not see through it. Whatever they were doing it deliberately. The pattern, then, is not a single failed decipherment. The pattern is the book itself. An object that survived 6 centuries by being unreadable. An object that has outlasted every system designed to read it. 620 years since the parchment was prepared. 360 years since Kircher first sat with it. 80 years since Friedman began his first transcription. 8 years since the most recent claim was withdrawn within 48 hours of publication. Each generation has brought its strongest tool. Renaissance philology. 20th century cryptography. Computational linguistics. Artificial intelligence. Each tool has met the same wall. We do not file an answer. We record that an artifact exists in New Haven, Connecticut, that has resisted every interpretive system applied to it for 600 years, and that the pattern of failure is itself the most consistent evidence we have. The script obeys laws. The pages turn. The drawings continue. The book was made to be read. It has not been. The system that made it is the system that has kept it closed. Status, unresolved. The file is open. Cross-reference. 6 centuries of pages turn the same way. The book waits. File open. End of file.